Hello, I'm Dr. Andrew Allen from Georgia College and State University, and that was the concert band Lyrical Tenor Etude. Just a few ideas on this etude. First of all, the first indication is andante con gusto. You see a number for the andante, we know what that means, but gusto means spirit, means life, so you need to make sure that this performance is spirited. It's not the fastest thing on earth, but there's joy in it. Now, this is fairly straight ahead technique work. So the little bit of actual lyricism you have, you need to make the most of. The first couple bars are really the only opportunity that you have for any kind of vibrato. So if that's something you're comfortable with, I would really apply it to those first couple bars in the very last note. If it's not something you're comfortable with yet, scroll down through the description of this video. You're gonna find a video that's gonna help you with that. Now measures 5 and 6, it's not terrible technique as long as you're building it slowly. It's not really that fast. You need to use a metronome. If you don't know how to use a metronome, talk to your band director or email me. However, you're going all across the range of the saxophone, and it can sound a little uneven. So make sure that you are using absolutely constant air and imagine it coming all the way through the bell, no matter what note that you're playing through those couple bars. Same thing through all of the technique in this etude. That's really, really, really vital. Now, listen as I perform the technical etude. That was the technical etude. Now, another plug for the metronome. When you're building this kind of technique, especially with some awkward fingering combinations, you need to make sure that you are building muscle memory. And there's no better way to do that than to use a metronome in small chunks that you gradually build out, start from a low tempo, and gradually build up as comfortable. Again, talk to your band director or email me, but it's really important here. Another important thing is to think about constant air use. I want you through the entire etude to think about blowing whole notes that are tied together through each phrase, and then your fingers and your tongue are going to do all the work. If there's any separation in your airstream throughout, you're going to make your life a lot harder than it needs to be in this etude. So the only difference needs to be when you are playing staccato, you need to think of a light D syllable. When you're starting the slurred segments, I just want you to think do. So that's really the only change you need to make, D versus do. Otherwise, constant air throughout. A little note about measure 2 in the second bar on second beat of measure 2 on the and, you see the little X. That is a double sharp. So we have an F double sharp, which is the same fingering as a G. So don't write in a G, just remember F double sharp is the same fingering as a G. One other little idea on this, in the very last bar we have accents. Remember, an accent is not just tonguing harder. That does nothing other than give you kind of a wild, uncontrolled sound. An accent is an air pulse. So underneath an otherwise constant airstream, I want you to think ho, 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 that kind of idea. But just make sure you're doing that little air pulse right on each one of those beats. You can shape it with a little light legato tongue, and you're in great shape. I hope that's been helpful. What I really want you to remember through this whole process is this is about growing as a musician and as a saxophonist. That's the primary goal. If you have any questions along the process, please reach out to me. But until then, happy practicing.